Is that okay?
Yeah, this cute, let's see, Esther?
Ethel.
Ethel, yes.
Remember, it was
you're-
a show I forgot, but I
Yeah.
remember the name.
She said, you're a lot shorter than I thought. We were just thinking if we sit down, we might
No one
disappear.
ever thinks I have more hair than they thought. So from time to time, I am shorter than they thought. But I think being short was a superpower, so being shorter.
So, the mission leaders
She's trying to
before
figure
us-
out, I have no idea how you would consider that a superpower.
And I just dismissed it. So, but the mission leaders before us, the Checkets, he was super tall, like 6'4".
Oh, you gotta put it up to your mouth.
I'll put it up to my mouth. Ooh.
So, to go back a little bit, Ethel said, oh, you're shorter than I thought you would be. Which is okay. I wasn't offended at all. So she was telling the story of the people that preceded us in London.
Yes, he was like 6'4". He was super tall, played basketball or football.
Basketball.
Then the ones that were called after us, he also is like 6'4" and played football. So we were the short ones smashed in between two very tall men.
But I think that being who you are is what's important, and the fact that I'm not very imposing physically has allowed me to be a good CEO for a company predominantly populated by women, because none of your husbands are intimidated by me. So they're okay with you hanging out with me and listening to me because I'm not a threat at all. So it was okay being bald and short.
You're approachable. You're approachable.
Yes.
So where somebody tall might be scary.
And for all you single people out there, it only takes one. You only need to get one person to love you. Don't try to get everybody to love you. Just get one person to love you.
Okay, so we've run around a million different things to do or talk about today. We're not Deb and Jason, so we're not going to get up here and whatever Jason does. I know he does stuff, but we won't be doing that. But so what's in
So
your
we wanted to bring some value to you. While we're here, we wanted to make sure that you get from us something that will mean something to you, maybe today and hopefully tomorrow, and with any luck, 10 years from now, you'll be changed. And that's what we always try to do whenever we go someplace, is to leave you all better for as long as you can be better. Contribute more than you take is something we take seriously. So we want to make sure that we're answering your questions, what you want us to address. So to do that, we thought it would be wise to take just a minute
or two,
and for you in your table
to
talk about a question that you would like us to address.
So it gets you talking, then we'll talk together. So.
Yeah, it might stimulate some ideas, and then we'll pick a name from the table or a number, and then whatever your table is, you can ask your question, and then we'll just go from there. And I think usually answering questions might stimulate some thought.
Hey, go for it. Talk amongst yourselves.
Other than recording ourselves.
Are they going to Greece? Are they going to, what's the other place, South America? Peru? Are they going to both places? I know they're gonna be in my 20s. Because that's the top 50.
Okay, 30 more
I
seconds.
feel to be back home.
If we give you too much time to think, the questions might be too difficult for us to answer.
Maybe one you could ask me, like, how to be missionaries? Yeah. Missionaries?
Okay.
How has that changed?
You ready, Heidi?
How's that changed?
So how about table 14? Where's table 14? And I'm not gonna, in case you might get pulled again for a prize, I'll put it back
How
in
has that
here.
changed our focus?
Okay, table 14, what's your question?
Orville and Heidi.
Did you hear me?
Okay, right.
What's one piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
I didn't hear it.
Okay, the question was, you wanna repeat it?
Yeah, if we could go back to each of us, our younger selves, what advice would we give ourselves? For me, it would probably be like, because I feel like I was a late bloomer, maybe. So I'd probably tell myself to not be so shy and to, start working myself earlier about my nerves and how shy. Yeah, so that would be me.
So as you say that, I think, one, I'd risk screwing it up. Right? Things have turned out pretty good for me, so I would be reluctant to tell myself anything
Knock
because
on
if
the
I
table
did,
or something?
because if I did, it would, it could mess things up. I'm going to take that in a little different direction, and I think.
He's gonna change the question.
No, we say this a lot at Cincy. There is a fine line between a blessing and a curse. Right? And so many of the things that I regarded at the time in my life as a curse, or not really a curse, that's probably not the right word.
That's not the right word.
Yeah, there's a fine line between a blessing and a trial. Right? A test.
Yes.
There were many times that I wished things would be different in my life. But later, looking back, I realized those were the most important moments of my life. And I wouldn't want to not have them anymore. So, whether it was our debt before Cincy that forced us to be very critical of money and also learn how to manage down to the penny. Right? Without that debt, we would never have got that discipline. Without that discipline, we would have never been able to run Cincy.
Us managed down to the penny.
I take credit for things that you do well. You should learn to take credit for things that I do well. Then you wouldn't have.
Yeah. All right.
So, think about that in your life right now. Those of you that are going through difficult times, what lessons are you learning that will allow you to be victorious in the future? Right? Rather than feeling yourself as a victim today, see yourself as being a student today, learning the lessons to become a master later.
Oh, good change. Good change. Okay, table.
You can pick one.
From here though, or from there?
These are the ones that have already been given a prize. Do you want to pick one from here?
Sure. You don't get a prize, but. 26.
I knew it. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Boy.
Table 26, what's your question?
Having gone and done your missionary work, how has that changed your focus on your business?
Okay.
Good.
Is there a
Okay, so
question?
having gone and done our mission, how has that changed the focus on our business? for me, I feel like we went and did the same thing. It was very cool and interesting how similar what we were doing as mission leaders and running a business, how similar they were. So we actually went to London and we had a group of missionaries, consultants, who would go and talk to people to join their business, church. And so it was very, very similar. So I feel like it just became more fine-tuned, I guess, that being away and being with another group of people, but we were kind of doing the same thing, just we didn't think about Sensi because we were doing something else, but it was so similar that we feel like we just stepped right back into everything coming back.
So somebody asked one time, do you feel like you run the mission like a business? And I said, no, but I realize now we ran our business like a mission.
Yes, we did.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The whole point of Sensi for us has never been about money. Of course, money is necessary to make all of the systems flow. So we have good product and we have good training and we have good events and good motivation and strong employees. So money is a tool for that. But the real work of Sensi is helping people find a brighter future through bringing value to the world. When we teach you how to contribute more than you take, you start to accumulate around you people that appreciate that and bring value back to your life. And Sensi is the tool by which we help you become a better version of yourself. And Sensi is the tool that you use to help other people become a better version of themselves. And that's just the same as, in a more secular way, obviously, but it's the same thing, trying to help someone become a better version of themselves. And when you do that, you become part of a community that you really want to be part of. It's a family that you choose, friends that you choose. And that's why we have consultants that have a very difficult time. If we get to the end of the year and we're canceling consultants that have not placed an order for a year, they'll panic. Right? Obviously, this wasn't about money for them because they haven't placed an order in 12 months, but yet they still do not want to be separated from the community. That's because the community has value in and of itself. And that's because we can find better versions of ourselves here.
Well, and same with missionary. A missionary most of the time would come out and not be fully prepared. But along the way, they become a missionary and they transform into a disciple of Jesus Christ. And that's the same for each one of you here, how you become and transform through Sensi into your better version.
And I think this is an interesting point, this idea of transformation. For a lot of people in religion and in business, particularly in a direct selling business, it's all about the transaction. Right? Is this good for me right now? Hey, there is a product that I like, therefore I'm going to share it. That's a good transaction. Here's a product I like, I can share it with my friends, I can sell a little bit, get a little bit of extra money. But when Sensi is about helping people become better versions of themselves, and it's about them, not you, if there's a product you don't like, you don't say, well, I don't like that product, I'm not going to transact with that product. You're thinking, who did they make that product for, and how can I connect with that person in my circle so that I can connect that product to the person who wants it? I'm going to be thinking about other people, not myself. That's being transformed by your business. you become a business thinker, thinking, how can I use these resources that the home office provides to deliver value to other people, whether I like it or not. It's not about the transaction anymore. It's about the transformation of being a consumer that sells the product that you like to becoming a business owner that is supporting people's lives and making them better through the products that you sell. Transformation is what we're looking for. Transactions will get you there, but you have to get to the point where you're transformed by the opportunity to be at the level of the superstar directors that are here. That's the difference we see with people that just dabble in Cincy and those who earn incentive trips and build teams. They're transformed by the opportunity.
That's so good.
Okay. How about table number 8? Okay.
Move on. 24. Table 24. Do you have a question?
We're 24 and my question is a little more to the business and the consultant side.
Okay.
Let's try it, yeah.
That I've been in direct sales pretty much since I was 18, and I've dabbled in some. And
So you've
been
had 4 years
successful.
experience, go on. She said she's been in direct sales since she was 18.
But I noticed that there's a trend where a lot of direct sales now are attracting consultants that are trying to earn extra money because they pay weekly. They pay the consultants' sales weekly and their team sales volume monthly on the 10. And I know Cincy is a big conglomerate and it's very popular, and I was just wondering if y'all have ever considered doing anything like that or making a change like that, because our economy sucks right now.
Yeah.
So,
This may be a question back to that.
Yeah. So, we
I
have.
blindsided you, I'm sorry.
No, you did not blindside us. It actually came up in our executive meeting a couple of weeks ago.
It's an active conversation.
So it is something we're talking about in the home office.
So what she's mentioning, if you come in here, she said, a lot of direct selling companies talk about, or they pay weekly. And then the overrides, team overrides and things would be monthly, but for sales it would be a weekly commission check because people are looking for a more immediate gratification. And her words, the economy sucks right now. And people are looking for that.
Yeah, okay, so just so we hear like pros and cons, let's talk about pros and cons so that we have more ammunition in the home office.
So first of all, just by a show of hands, how many of you think that it would be a bad idea to shift to weekly payouts?
Bad idea.
A bad idea. And how many would think it's a good idea to shift to weekly payouts?
Wow,
Okay, so
So we
interesting
do-
how it's
yeah.
pretty close to 50-50, isn't it?
Bi-weekly.
What's that? Okay, so let's ask the question, and we'll repeat your answer. For those of you who think it's a bad idea, why would that be a bad idea?
It's kind of the $100 principle. Like if I have a $100 bill, it's $100. But if I break that $100 bill, now I can spend it everywhere. So if I get my check once a month, I can pretty much count on what I've got. I know what I've sold, I know what my commission's gonna be, but if I get it weekly, it's like, oh, well, where did that check go? I don't, and it makes it easier to just frivolously spend it as opposed to, here's my $100 bill.
Okay, I'll just repeat that. So what she said is, it's like the $100 bill principle. If you have a $100 bill, it's a $100 bill, but if you break that $100 bill up, then sometimes it can be gone and you don't even know what it was spent on. So having that weekly or monthly pay makes it a large enough paycheck that you're thinking about it as a real, it's real money.
tangible,
Where you divide that into 4, it might
staff,
not be real money to you. You might not pay as much attention to it.
I see that too, that we have a lot of consultants, like a high
I can imagine
percentage
that
that
could
would
be
fall
more
into
work,
that category,
to
where
do
their
that.
weekly check is maybe $30.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
is that,
No.
I don't know, yeah, would we rather build and to get a bigger check?
Exactly.
So,
Okay, how about we'll go right here and then back there. This is reasons why it would be a bad idea. Right here, Cincy Life.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Well, that's true.
so it might interfere with thinking big. Yeah.
And you bring up a point there on the $2,000 monthly bonus.
Yeah.
How is that calculated, right? Although it could be added to the monthly override check. Yeah. Back here.
I was just gonna know the same point, that would do away with the inspiration of us to strive for the 2,000 a month, because you would lose 5% of your bonus.
Okay. Now let's go to the other side. I mean, obviously we spend lots of time on this. We're not going to solve this problem here, but this is really good information. On the other side, why would it be a good idea? I mean, the first argument for that makes a lot of sense is there's a lot of people who need money immediately, and they might engage if they knew they could get a check quicker. And a lot of other companies are doing this, so there's some pressure. But what are some other ideas?
I personally am a single person and live on one income. For me, it would be a benefit for me to be able to budget what I have week by week or bi-weekly, and I don't think week by week would be beneficial. I think bi-weekly would. That allows you as an individual to be able to build towards what you need towards the end of the month. To me, I think it's more like, not a paycheck, but it's the ability to be able to have a lump sum and be able to do what you need to do as an individual. I have to wait till 10 to get paid for everything I did this past month. That's making me wait an extra 10 days or an extra 3 weeks to get paid on something that I did 4 weeks ago. So to me, bi-weekly would be a benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. Right here.
I was kind of on the negative side to start with, then the more I got to thinking about it, when you're looking at trying to build our business, and you see somebody with an immediate need, right? Somebody whose car broke down, and you can look at them and you can reach out and say, hey, I have a fix for you. What if you tried and you joined this business and you saw what a $500 party could do for you? I think that gives people that thought process of, maybe I didn't really think a home-based business was that thing for me, but I decided to do some of my friends and family, and I did $500, and now I can make this utility bill payment, I can make this car payment, I can make this insurance payment, whatever it is, where we always say, work your business the way it works for you, and I think it kind of gives people that thought process in their head of, oh, look at how I can make this work for me, and now I wanna talk to my other friends and say, I see you, I feel you, and this is what solves this for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, I got one more point on.
I think it's a great idea.
No, I think we've kind of covered that. I think we covered that. So great question. That wasn't blindsided at all. It was very, very helpful.
And we have been talking about it.
How much time do we have, Heather? When do you want us done? Okay. If you're tired of us, just go in mass to the restroom and we'll get the point.
You can go, the rest of us are gonna
Okay,
stay.
table 37. Woo-hoo. I do. But I'll put it back in here so you can maybe be drawn too.
So our question is, it seems like a lot of
big thing in our weekly executive meeting we've been talking about. So, it was about why a lot of people are changing their downline now and going to affiliate marketing. And is that something that Cynthia would ever think about?
Okay, so I'll explain the best as I can. Okay? Now, Cincy is a direct selling company. Direct selling company simply means that we sell products directly to consumers without a fixed location. You know, we don't sell through stores, and we don't have, we don't sell through distributors that sell through stores. We sell directly to the consumer. Direct selling companies have either a single pay, where they will sell directly to the consumer and pay a salesperson or an affiliate. A salesperson is usually tied to the company, an affiliate is not. An affiliate is just somebody that is affiliated with the company and they get a commission if they make a sale. Or they use a multi-level compensation where there are incentives for you to find other people to sell and help them build teams to sell. So there's a single pay and a multi-level pay. We use a multi-level compensation plan. Now this opens up a lot of you to the anti-MLM crowds on the internet, ripping on companies and including Cincy in that for, being an MLM. All MLMs are bad. There are many MLMs that have been bad players in the past, but Cincy isn't one of them. And a couple of evidences that Cincy is a multi-level compensation done right. What's that?
Done right, yes.
Do you want to share some evidences, or I don't want to do all the talking, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
So we have a real product that we sell to real customers. A lot of MLMs
real prices.
At real prices. A lot of companies will sell you the product at a discount up front. And then you, as the salesperson, would then say, oh, hey, I get a discount, I'll just pass that on to you, you'll get the discount. We chose not to do that. And so you buy retail price and sell retail price, which makes the product a real product. But the other thing is, in multi-level marketing, a lot of times that you'll sign somebody up and immediately be like, you have to get on and sign up for $50 worth of laundry to come to your house every month. And then you do the same thing throughout your whole downline. So really, who is buying the product are the consultants, the field. And so it's not real customers buying the product. And that's actually one of the things that the FTC watches for a direct selling company. So.
Now, one of the best evidences that Cincy sells real products to real people at real prices, most companies have a problem with Amazon because Amazon ruins the pricing structure of their product. We have a different problem with Amazon. We have a problem with consultants having a difficult time keeping the rule not selling on Amazon, because on Amazon, product sells more than what we put in our catalog. Yeah. Now, tell me that there is a pricing problem at Cincy if a bootleg product could sell more on an open auction than we put as a retail price in the catalog. Does that make sense? So anybody that's out there saying, oh, Cincy's an MLM, say, if you've seen the prices on Amazon, look at the prices in our catalog, explain to me how a pyramid scheme can have a product that is sold to its consultants and customers less than the auction value on Amazon. There's no possible mathematical way that can be a pyramid, right? So they're just uninformed when they do that. Now, because of this anti-MLM fervor, which was really fueled by bad players like LuLaRoe, to be honest, and others.
Lula who?
Yeah. And many of you probably got caught up in that. I mean, it was hot for a while, but man, it imploded and hurt a lot of people. So there is some fuel for that, and we understand that bad players are going to do that. It's just like, if you choose not to be Christian because there's a couple bad pastors, you're going to miss out on a lot of good, right? You can't do that. You have to look at what is it ideally, and who's closest to that ideal, and is that working well? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm not going to allow somebody to ruin everything just because they're bad players. But a lot of companies are saying, well, if we go to affiliate, we're no longer MLM. So they're taking away the downline portion of their compensation and just paying straight out to the people who are selling. So it'd be like us saying, you can sell Scentsy and you'll get a commission, but there's no incentive for you to build a team.
I think sometimes though in affiliate marketing that you could still get a bonus or something for signing somebody up, but there's no continuous downline pay based on what they use.
So what that does is it eliminates, go back to the other concept we were talking about, it eliminates the potential for you to have a transformational economic experience.
Yes.
You could never have a fundamentally changed financial outlook if you're only an affiliate. Because you can sell more, you make more money, but you will never have an exponential growth. With a downline and Scentsy structure, we still pay a vast majority of the compensation to you for selling products. And we require a bona fide leadership role to be played in order to get a leadership override. But it's that leadership override. When you build teams and inspire hundreds of people to improve themselves and use Scentsy as a vehicle, then you have the opportunity to fundamentally transform your family's financial future. And it's the hope of being able to do that that fuels so many of you. And to those of you for who that is not a fuel, that's fine. You still get most of the compensation we pay as in commissions, so go sell and have fun, and this is a great hobby for you that you can then have a little extra money when you want it. But that potential is always there. And without it, companies die. And most companies who have switched to affiliate programs have regretted it big time within a couple of years. One CEO said it was the biggest mistake he had ever made in his career, and it's irreversible.
And he's trying to fix it now. So that's what I was gonna go to next, was that, we definitely in our products and the products that we put out, we definitely would love to be first to market. But there are some things that you definitely want to investigate and really look at before you race to do them. And both of those questions, the affiliate marketing and the paying weekly, are just those two questions where we don't want to race to do it. We want to see how's it going for everybody else before we go and change things, because it's a drastic change. So.
Now, there is a way for you to participate in the mindset, or to help people who want to be an affiliate, or have that affiliate mindset. Oh, I'd love to be a Scentsy affiliate. I don't want to be a consultant, but I'd love to be an affiliate. With the club program and the host rewards program, those are two programs that allow somebody to participate in Scentsy, either as a host or through club, and then referring people to club and getting a discount on their club purchases. Those are both affiliate programs that Scentsy has. But it's done outside of the consultant organization. So we don't have to kill the consultant organization in order to allow those who are only interested in an affiliation with Scentsy to be affiliated, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think we as a company might be better. I mean, does that surprise you when I say that?
No.
Batteries are dying. Like, as I said that, did you like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, so that's a communication problem that we have at Cincy, that yes, there is an affiliate program at Cincy, independent of you as consultants. And you can build that through Club. And if it's not working great for you, you can see how changing to affiliate might do for the company. Right? If that's not working, let's not turn the whole company that direction, right?
Well, and that's the feedback. The feedback we're hearing is anybody that has gone affiliate marketing wishes they hadn't. And clawing it back now can't be done. So
Many times the affiliate marketing switch is a company's last ditch effort to find profitability, because they can cut out a significant portion of their expenses by cutting out the leaders who got them to the point they are. Right, and that's just
So, and I don't remember which table, what were we at, 37? 37. Were you asking because you would like to go to affiliate marketing, or because your friends have gone and you're wondering just about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most people go because companies are either distancing themselves from direct selling because they think or from multi-level marketing because they see the world, the anti-MLM crowds, and they're worried about it, they're fearful of it, or they are out of money and they're trying to get more money, or they're just private equity companies that are trying to get as much money out of the company as they possibly can before they sell it.
But I guess I don't want to say that we'd never do it, because, you know, if we thought it was best for you all, we would do it. So look at everybody's like, no. Yeah.
It kills the community.
Yes, it does. It kills the community. It does.
Okay,
Okay, table
25.
That's you.
25 over here.
We had the same question as 24.
Okay,
Like,
Amy's
the
over
26
there.
had,
Okay,
so
all
we're
right.
good.
You're all thinking the
Maybe
same.
we should ask it again, you might get a different answer.
We already forgot what we said.
Table 13. The question is,
So, okay, the growth while we were gone, or the growth going forward?
Just give us thoughts on, St. Lawrence and that, how much it's grown, and then the direction y'all see it going from here on out.
yeah, so the question is about basically the growth and trajectory of Cincy, and what are our thoughts about that since before we left and now that we've been back.
All right, do you get on the end of the month calls at all?
Yes.
Periodically.
Okay, okay, and or did you come to Cincy Family Reunion? Okay, because we talked about it a little bit there, so. We've been in a slump. There's no
A dip?
lying, yeah.
We call them
the-
dips?
The little dip. And I believe it has been 38 months of down now, which is over 3 years.
Now,
So,
here's some perspective, right? This year, our sales will be about, let's see, within 5% of 2019 sales. And 2019 was very close to 2016 sales, right? So essentially we grew, got up into the 500 millions, you know, the 500 and some. We came down into the about 420, and then we just kind of hovered between 420 million and 480 million between 20 13, and 2019. In 2020, we were hoping to hit 500 million. Then COVID happened. The team was able to address the needs of COVID and operate through COVID and address your increased demand, and we ended up with 980 million. So, for a company to almost double that big, that short a period of time was miraculous, and the team pulled off a miraculous win. 2021, that wave kept going, and we crested $1 billion in 2021. After COVID, people started to go back to work. They're not at home as often. The free government money dried up. People were busy doing other things. They don't need warmers and wax running in their home 24/7 like they used to. They have less time to engage in teams and businesses. So sales are going to come down, and they're going to come down big because they went up big.
Same thing with the exercise industry. If you remember, during COVID, you couldn't buy weights or anything. There was a wait period to buy exercise stuff.
So we can't get too panicked that right now, this year, we're going to be between 480 and 500 million. Right? That's really, if you took COVID out of the picture, that's the line we would have been. And so it might feel like we're in a dip, but it might have been we just are coming off an irrational high. And we're back to normal. If that makes sense. Right?
The irrational high would be nice. But I mean, I guess we would have to look back. What were you all doing that we hit that growth like that? Like, where are all those customers that you were selling to?
Did they hate their experience?
Yeah, did they just not come back?
Did they not like their product?
Yeah.
Right? he said they're now paying for the babies they made during COVID. Now, I'll be honest with you. If you look at our consultants over time, and you were to say, what's the bullseye? What person, or what demographic is the ideal Sensi consultant? And we've done this, we've looked at this, we've looked at this. It is a woman about 7 months pregnant with her second child.
Having to decide if she's going to go back to work, or if she's going to, and have to have childcare for 2,
Right?
or stay at home.
If you think about it, most women that are working can make enough money to take care of 1 child care. It's worth it economically.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. It's economically viable for her to stay at her job, and pay for daycare, even though she doesn't want to. But that's the best economic decision for her family. Once there are 2 children in daycare, then that economics changes dramatically. And the emotional pull to stay home with her kids is greatest. That's where giving somebody an opportunity to stay home with their kids and still make money has the greatest appeal. If you have 2 kids in daycare, you already know you can afford it. By the time you have your 3rd kid, one's in kindergarten, and you only have 2 kids in daycare. Right? Very few people have 3 kids in daycare. If that makes sense, right? And so that is the economic thrust. Now, we have consultants who will never have children, consultants who had children 50 years ago, and consultants who haven't had kids yet. We're not saying that, that is the only kind of consultant we're after, but that's the bullseye. Does that make sense? So if they're out having babies, it's a good thing for us coming up.
But I think also, to go along with that, on our end, we need to evaluate the products that we're putting out, that they're still, the things that people are wanting and on trend. We need to do a lot of in-house evaluation, I think, now that we're back, and make sure that what we're doing is good. So,
The thing that struck me, I'll just give you maybe this is way too much information.
uh-oh.
I might scare you a little bit. I gotta be careful. Okay, I was sitting in Dan's office. Outside Dan's office are a bunch of Scentsy buddies that are lining the wall. Because Scentsy buddies are all over the home office now. They're like weeds that are starting to take over.
No, you like it? Okay. Maybe we should raffle them off. Yeah, something.
Okay, so these Scentsy buddies are all there. Now, I can't remember the names, but there was a dog, and then there was a pink giraffe, and then there was a unicorn, and then there was a
Fox?
a
Fox
fox.
outside Chase's office.
Oh no, the kangaroo, little kangaroo. So they were there, and then there was Spider-Man, the Hulk, Red, and a couple of other licensed products. And I sat there and I thought, take away the intellectual property that we licensed. What's more beautiful? Right? What? If you were decorating a room, who's going to decorate a room around the Incredible Hulk?
A boy mom.
Some people
A boy
are.
mom.
There might be a couple,
Yeah.
right?
There will be.
But I think we have done too much of borrowing other people's art instead of creating our own art.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I came back and said, licensing is good, but it's like ranch dressing. You know, if you dip ranch dressing or you dip a piece of lettuce in a bottle of ranch dressing, you don't call it a salad, right? As much as you like ranch dressing, you need a good ratio of lettuce to ranch to make it palatable. And we have to be careful about that. So that's something about the growth moving forward. We have to wean ourselves off of other people's art and do better at creating our own art. And that's an initiative I think we need to do.
The other thing that came up in our executive meeting, we've done a lot of talking since we've been back in our executive meeting. The other thing that came up, which came up in our conversation last night with Lindsay and Jamie, was about the LTOs. And the number of LTOs has changed a lot since during our mission. And so we realize that, and that's something that we'll be evaluating and looking at also.
Now, here's a reality that you won't like as consultants. The more that we sell out, the more back orders you have, and the more frustrated your customers are, the more they will buy from you.
So true, so true. That's exactly what happened during COVID.
So counterintuitive.
Yeah.
People go to Black Friday not because they expect to find an easy path through the store and guaranteed availability of everything that they want. They go because it is a crazy frenzy and they like the adrenaline of the win. In the world of shopping today, that is a psychology, and sometimes we try to manage that out of the experience of our customers, because we're concerned about how you're feeling, the stress that you're under. The reality is we need to teach you how to enjoy that stress. Because it's that stress that creates the energy to bring new customers on, and those new customers get caught up in the enthusiasm, and then they want to be a part of it.
But the problem is we have 500,000 of each warmer now. So
Which means
we can't sell out for years.
if we manage to make sure that you never have a sellout, we have a difficult time creating energy. If we manage to create energy, there are going to be some sellouts, and your customers aren't going to get what they want, and you're going to have to deal with that. So as a consultant, you have to ask yourself the question, do I want an easy business where I never have conflict with my customers, or do I want a business where my customers are always on edge whether or not they get what they want, but are confident they can always get something they will want because there's so many good things coming out. If they miss this one, they'll be able to be happy on the next one. That's, I think, where we need to get back to. Nobody agrees.
I would rather it sell out than see it 3 months later on the clearance sale. I'll wait 3 months and hope it shows up.
That's exactly what's happening, I think, yeah.
Now that is, he was talking about, I'd rather it sell out than have it come, show up on the clearance section a few months later. Here's the reality of why that happened. $1 billion in sales, we don't know when it turns off. COVID it left as fast as it came, and those sales came down fast. But our factories had orders from the height of from COVID, and so then we had this glut of inventory that we have to manage through for 2 years until we get back to orders that are placed according to the energy that we have. We're getting to that point where where that rat has gotten through the snake. So we're getting close to that. What's that? Yeah, go ahead.
You had the warmer that was made in Mexico with the blast when you guys were gone. Could we not, because there's like a craftsman level in China, it's like here, right? Mexico probably is here. Can we not have more simplistic warmers made in Mexico? So we better have better control, because we're in Texas. We're not that far from Mexico, and you could send it to Coppell and to Idaho and other distribution centers, so we could get it faster out to us. Maybe not the Lord of the Rings, but the more simplistic, and work on building the craftsmen up in Mexico. So if we have another pandemic, they're coming from Mexico rather than sitting in ports for months from China.
Do you want to tell her what happens when you get from Mexico?
Mexico is really difficult to work with.
It is, and they charge crazy, made-up fake fees to get stuff across the border.
Yeah, but I think, okay, the question is, there was a warmer that was made in Mexico, quality wasn't really up to the standards that we get in China. When people say, why do you make your products in China? Here's the best answer. What do you call that cupboard next to the formal dining room that holds your dishes?
The China cupboard.
The China cupboard. Why? Because all the best ceramics for centuries have come from China. They invented the concept, and the craftsmen that work on our products are generational ceramic experts. If you're going to make ceramics, you go to China. If you're going to make pasta, you go to Italy. Unless you're really historical, and then you go to China. Right? We have this negative connotation of China, and rightfully so in many ways. Right? There's many things problematic with that, with the government there and the way people are treated. But historically, for 1,000 years, China has been the manufacturer of the world. They make stuff for everyone else, and they've done it for thousands of years. And so, let them be them. We will be us, right? We're the people that know how to build cultures, know how to build communities, know how to sell products, know how to bring about peace and prosperity through capitalism. We'll do that, and if we're buying products from China, let's just buy the products that were traditionally made in China. And then make in America what is best to be made in America, like all of our fragrance products. You know, half of the products we sell are made in America.
Woo woo!
And it's only because we make products in China that we can employ so many people making products in America.
Okay, so back to this table right here to finish it up. We have a lot of evaluating to do. 3 years is a long time to be away. We honestly were serving a mission, and we tried as little as possible to look at Scentsy while we were gone and let Dan and the team run it. And so now we have to get back in and do a lot of evaluating. But our goal would be to turn the 38 months of dip around and get back to growth, so.
Now, here's the thing. With the 38, and this is going to take a minute, so you put your hand up, sorry. With that decline, a lot of times people think, oh, well, this is where we're headed. Right? If you think about it in the 50s and 60s, when people looked at the future, because things were good back then, there was progress happening, you take where you're headed and you project it into the future, and it was Jetsons world. We'd be driving around in space cars and pushing buttons and having food pop out of robotic machines, and Rosie the robot would take. I mean, that was the projection. You get to the 80s when the economy had turned, and you projected, and it was like Running Man and Blade Runner and Mad Max, and you project where this is going, and it's all dystopia, right? So the reality is things go in waves, and so you have to be careful not to get too worried about the future when things aren't looking good, and too optimistic about the future when things are looking good. And when things are on a downhill in terms of sales, there are things that you can work on that make a big difference. And as we were coming back from the UK on this last trip on the Delta planes, they have little TV screens, and we watched a master class by James Clear from Atomic Habits, who spoke at convention a few years ago.
Yeah, okay. If you haven't read that book, it's an amazing book. You should read it, Atomic Habits.
Okay, now what's the premise of the book? It starts out with a story of the British cycling team. Right? The British cycling team was so bad that bicycle manufacturers didn't want to sell them bikes because they would be afraid it would destroy their brand value if the team was using their product. That's how bad the team was.
And they hadn't earned any kind of medal since what, 1908?
One gold medal
Yes.
in 100 years.
In 100 years. Ooh, that's bad.
So they had to fix something, and so they brought in a guy named Dave Brailsford.
Is it Dave? I don't know. Brailsford. Last name Brailsford,
Yeah.
for sure.
And he brought in a concept of the aggregation of marginal gains. Aggregation, the accumulation, or the building up of
Tiny. Tiny. Yeah.
Marginal gains. So they worked on things like, of course, they looked at how to make their bikes more efficient. But he tried to say, let's figure out how we can make everything we do 1% better.
Everything. So they looked at hand washing even, that the bikers getting sick more often would cause a problem in earning a gold medal. So they taught them all how to hand wash.
They looked at the difference between different kinds of massage gels to see if one would help them recover faster. Like little tiny insignificant things that they would think about.
One of the other things is the inside of their trailers, they painted white so that they could see the dust particles that might build up or get onto the bikes and cause friction and problems. So they looked at everything.
So you all in your individual business and in your teams are thinking, okay, how does this ship turn around? Thinking that Cincy is going to be the solution to your problem because sales are down now. The reality is Cincy sales are down because consultant sales are down. We don't sell without you, right? It's your sales that aggregate to Cincy sales. So if Cincy sales are down 50% in the last 3 years, it's because you all collectively are selling 50% less than we did a year or 3 years ago. Don't think that it is us that will bring the salvation or the destruction to your business. It will be you doing these little things that will accumulate over time into great things. And meetings like today are where you start to identify those ways you can make 1% improvements. And as you accumulate those over time, then miraculously, things will start growing again and we'll hit another hyper growth and you'll think, wow, that came out of the blue. Well, no, it didn't. You know, the British cycling team, what did they end up doing? Like 3 years after they hired him?
Over a 10-year period, 178 national, different kinds of medals.
Yeah.
Over a 10-year period.
70% of the gold medals of
After
cycling
one
gold
100
medals.
years.
Yeah, 70% of the gold medals in cycling in the 2012 Olympics, the British team won. They won 5 out of the last 6 Tour de France's. They hadn't won one before he was hired. Right? So fundamentally changed everything. It didn't come out of the blue. They fixed all the little things, and that accumulated into greatness.
But there are things on our end we can fix too, to make sure that we're delivering everything you need to take to your customers. So.
And one of the most important one of the most important concepts of his book is you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. The British team didn't change their goals. They always had a goal of winning a gold medal.
They always wanted to.
But their systems were not good enough to earn gold medals. Until they upgraded their systems, they were never going to earn a gold medal. If you look at the great superstar directors, what examples they teach, they have created very good systems.
And habits, those are habits, which is,
Yes.
the book's called Atomic Habits, so.
And as you create systems and you employ those systems consistently, then they become habits that create exponential change in your life.
They multiply as you repeat them, which is the amazing part of the whole thing, so.
So if you want Cincy to grow again, to get back to $1 billion, it's pretty simple. We need consultants to sell $1 billion worth of product.
Sounds easy, right?
This sounds easy. How do you do that? Well, you're probably going to need more consultants. You're probably going to have systems to onboard them, or systems to encourage or to entice them, systems to encourage them, systems to onboard them, systems to train them, systems to reward them, systems to replicate that experience with others. And that's the power of direct selling. We can do that.
Hey, all right, was that a table? Nope, she's got a hand up.
So if the sales don't college, has the number of consultants also decreased?
Yes.
Yes.
Percentage-wise, about the same. So sales per consultant hasn't changed very much. Basket size, like what a customer buys hasn't changed that much. Really, we just have a lot fewer people participating. And so the real question is, why haven't we been able to find those customers and engage with them? And a lot of you, I think, are waiting for a miracle to happen, when in reality, there is a fallow field that has been plowed a couple of years ago, waiting to be replanted, and just looking for somebody to go plant it. You just have to go find that field. It's right under your nose.
Okay, so speaking on what you were saying about on trend, and not including licensed stuff. When a consultant, sends in a product share, like something, an idea that they have, and we're not talking about licensing, we're talking about like a new product or a style of warmer or something like that. Where does that idea go, and how is it formatted to get put and implemented into a discussion around that product being like, where does it go? Like where does that product?
Yeah, it does. We have our not R&D, it's a product development team, and they're the ones that monitor that and read that and look at it, and or our product development group that actually put things together to make things, make products. And they will read that. If they think it's a good idea, then they'll do a prototype. They'll come, it'll be introduced in our meetings, so we'll hear about it. That's kind of how, yeah. Did you submit an idea?
Well, I've submitted a few, but I know other, like, you know, from SFRs and stuff, and talking with other consultants, ideas have been submitted, and I've never, you know, I didn't know, like, how it was done, and we were talking about it, like, is it, like, do you guys gather around, and you're like, hey, these ideas were in, you know.
So let me, can I ask a question? Is there still the upvote, downvote of an idea on IdeaShare?
Yes.
Yeah. So if an idea is not upvoted much, or it's only one-off, it can get buried. It's usually the upvoted ideas that do well. Now, we have to be careful as a company because, you know, Incredible Hulk buddies get upvoted because, oh, that'll be quick and easy sales. But in the long run, if we just have Avengers buddies, one right after the other, we get a very narrow group of customers. So we have to be careful just taking that IdeaShare. But when things start to trend on IdeaShare, the team will pull that off and say, okay, should we be doing this? And then that will often, a prototype will be created. The superstar directors will be polled if they like it or not, and kind of get upvoted or downvoted among a group of superstar directors. That's one of the perks of being a superstar director is. And then the reason we use them and not just broadly is because we have them NDA. They have enough to lose if they release something that we can trust them with that strong NDA. And that gives us good information.
Can you explain what an NDA is? Maybe not.
Oh, I'm sorry. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. So before we give our superstar directors access to stuff coming up, then they have a non-disclosure agreement that they sign. And if they disclose it, there are punishments. And some of them have experienced that. And it's a pretty hard slap on the wrist financially.
Yeah, it just means
they don't do it
you
very often.
won't tell what you've seen.
Now, just usually though, just to put y'all at ease here, they might do a survey for a product that's coming out in 9 months and not know when it's coming out. So usually when it comes out, like, oh yeah, we surveyed that like a year ago. It's not like they are getting information that it's coming out next week before the rest of it. Okay.
Do you want to go with it, or?
Should we open up the question? Okay. Because the guy behind you is pointing at you, you must have something really good to say.
I have kind of a softball question, but we had an interesting discussion, so if it's okay, I'm gonna give you kind of a two-parter.
Okay, a two-part question.
So and they're not really related, but I want to get both of them in there because it's important.
So there's a two-part question that's not related, which means there are two questions that you're going to try to get through here by calling it a two-part question. Okay.
So the first one is, if you could, and I know you guys think about this down the line, but when we are looking at the different product categories, are there any categories that consultants here should start getting very excited about possibly being built out further? So that's an easy one, because obviously, but then the more challenging one is, we tried a new thing this past year at Epcot, where we were direct selling from Epcot without a consultant in the middle. Obviously, that put a lot of consultants a little bit concerned, but that was a direction Sensi may consider going. And for those of us on director pages, we saw the explanation on it, but part of the benefit of being a consultant and selling is you had that follow-up system. So there was a way once somebody bought something from you, you could make sure, and I think the thought process behind Epcot was people would go driving to the Sensi website and buy more, but for those of us in Missouri that aren't close to Disney, there's the fear of how does that benefit the group as a whole. And so kind of like the thought process on it, do we see that direction continuing where Disney will be like, no, we like to cobble things up and want access to everything? Is that something that Sensi's going to consider? I feel like some of how you talked about certain things that that's probably not, but it is.
Okay, so the first part, are we thinking of bringing out any new categories
Or are there any categories that we're gonna expand?
Expand.
Either way, both
Yeah.
would be great.
Not that I know of.
And just curious, that's not anything that has come up in the executive meeting, but that doesn't mean that.
I mean, it always comes up and it doesn't, so
That
there's
it's not,
nothing
yeah.
actionable in my mind on that.
But that doesn't mean that product development isn't working on something that we haven't seen yet, if that makes sense. So, like, we just saw something the other day, part of a category we already have, but we didn't know that maybe that was something we were going to come out with. Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Well, we're not gonna come out with it.
I've
so-
killed a few things. I've killed a few
Yeah.
things. I've come in, I'm like,
That
are you
was
kidding
killed
me?
fast. It was killed
Are you
fast.
kidding me? There's no way we're selling that with the Cincy brand on it.
No, we cannot tell you, but.
Put it this way. The last thing I want Cincy to be doing is copying Walmart. Yeah, like, but it was an idea share. Everybody liked the idea.
Oh, yeah, okay, so the second part,
The second part was, okay,
I already forgot.
so we have this alliance with Disney,
Yeah.
right? Part of the alliance, I mean, it costs us a lot of money. Our hope is that by the alliance with Disney, we get easier access to other licenses. And that's been true. People say, oh, you're a Disney Alliance partner? Yeah, we'll give you a license, where we wouldn't have got the license before. It also can give us access to better to new markets. Asia is important for every direct selling company. We don't have a presence in Asia, and our current offering is so Western, Western European, American, it really doesn't translate to Asia very easily. So we have to figure out ways to make a good entrance in Asia if we're going to get there someday. Disney alliances, if you know anything about Korea, for instance, if you know anything about a lot of Asian cultures, they will put you at the level of who you're aligned with. And so if we have a Disney alliance, we automatically have credibility in ways that we wouldn't have other places. So there are lots of reasons why alliances and licenses make sense. They're expensive. And they sometimes come with things that we might have to deal with. Like Disney, I think, wanted to see what a retail experience would be like in park for those who had the experience. So he says, we can test this, and it's small enough that it's not going to create a negative for consultants as a whole.
Plus, if you think about it, they buy the bar, it's summer, or do they immediately have to go home, leave the park now because they bought a bar that's gonna melt in the sun? I mean, there's a lot of logistics that go into selling outright from a Disney place. So.
Now, could I make an argument that Cincy could sell on Disney Main Street straight to customers, and it would be good for you all? Absolutely. I could make that argument. I could line it out for you. I could show it to you. Emotionally, it might not feel good, particularly if you live in Orlando, but that might be something that we would do if we could confidently do it and benefit you. That wasn't what we were planning when we did that. We don't have a multi-channel strategy where like we go open up stores and we sell alongside that. There's no ambition for that at all. We have talked about, man, this whole thing with Amazon and all the knockoffs on Amazon are problematic. Is there a way we could make a deal with Amazon and figure out how to bring consultants along? If we could do that, we would do that where we could control Amazon a little bit better. We haven't been able to figure out a way to do that without hurting consultants. So we're always looking at these ways, but we always have your experience at the front of our minds when we do it.
You talked about there was a product that you wanted to kill before. Was there anything over the last 3 years that you see now and you're like, why?
honestly, we didn't pay attention to what came out, and it's probably already gone. Yeah.
Was there any products that came out that you said why? You message me later, okay?
So one consultant said to me a long time ago, she said, the best thing about Scentsy is you listen to us. Yep. The worst thing about Scentsy is you listen to us.
So true.
Okay.
Do you want to go hand, or?
I think we are over our normal time. Should we do it? It's 4:10.
My watch is Idaho time, so.
Okay, we're gonna just
We'll
go.
do a couple more.
Okay, just a second.
Oh, we have so many.
Okay. Okay, fine. Everybody's pointing to you. Go ahead and ask your question.
How many times have y'all encountered personal and professional dips, and how did you pull yourself out of it?
Great question. Personal and professional dips, and how did you pull yourself out of them?
Okay. Tub of ice cream. No, personal dip, I usually just get down on myself, say some horrible things about myself, and then eat a tub of ice cream or a chocolate bar or something. And then I'm good. I try not to wallow, but it could last for an hour or two. But then I try to get over it, so.
I have periods of non-productivity. There are times where I'm not on my game, but I don't really. Dips for me, I just don't know if I phrase them that way. The company though has had 3 dips. We're in the middle of our third.
Yeah, the third.
We're towards the end of our third. There are always really hard things we have to do. Some of the hardest things that we deal with are when people that we thought, we've had a few employees leave and start companies to compete against us. We've had a few consultants do that. We've had consultants that leave for other companies and then try to pull their downline.
Or people that say we're rotten, horrible, whatever, or even just attack Scentsy in general.
Yeah, so those are hard moments. But what I realized over time is that passes. Reality does show up over time. The goodness of Scentsy has always demonstrated itself over time. And a lot of people who might have had negative feelings towards the company usually give it enough time, they're like, man, I was kind of wrong on that, wasn't I? There's very few things that I look back that Scentsy didn't do right by their consultant. I'm just trying to think if there's anywhere I'm like, yeah, we really missed that one. And I don't know how many times there's nothing that I really regret that Scentsy's done. Now, personal dips or company dips, I think the best way to get out of it is to turn your arrows out.
Yes. Even personal is what you do, turn your arrows out. So.
If you think about it, if the arrows are in, you're saying that, look, life is affecting me. My team is doing this to me. My husband's doing this to me. The economy is affecting me this way. It's all pointing to your insecurities. If you flip those arrows out, you're now saying, wait, this is an interesting economy. How can I take advantage of the negative news and help somebody? My husband is treating me this way. He obviously is hurting in some way. How can I reach out to him and help him so he's not hurting? My team is stressed and bothering me. How can I relieve that stress and make their life better, right? When you turn your arrows out and use these negatives as fuel for genius, then you're going to come up with the solutions to your life. But you have to turn your arrows out. And when you turn your arrows out, then you find solutions for other people. When you find solutions for other people, they engage with you more. When they engage with you more, you have a greater platform to help them. And in Cincy's world, that means you have more product to sell to and through them to people who enjoy the product and are benefited by it. Does that make sense?
I would say also, kind of going along with what he was talking about, if somebody, if we're attacked, Cincy or us personally, that we're not the kind of people that will sit around and read it all. So, if anything is, the first thing we do is get off that, wherever we are, because all that does is drag you down. So, if in the future, any of you decide that we're horrible or to leave, just know that we won't read whatever you write about us. So, okay.
I think the concept here is that there are going to be plenty of people that are going to be in your life that are not going to bring good things. You know, they're swimming in your pool and they're peeing. Right? And don't let people pee in your pool. If it's your Facebook page, if it's your mind, if it is your emotional state, don't allow somebody to sit on the edge and just go to town. Kick them out of that pool before they ruin it for everyone else.
Good advice.
Okay. Okay, right here. Shirt with the girl in front of the person with the shirt.
So my question goes back to the idea share.
Oh, go ahead.
That she was talking about. Just a show of hands in the room. How many people have ever been on Idea Share and voted for anything? How many people have done that in the last 3 months?
Yeah, so more participation is going to bring better results. The other thing is...
Wait. How many of you knew about Idea Share? Okay, so
How many
there's
didn't?
a lot that didn't,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Talk to your teams about Idea Share. Okay, here's the important part about Idea Share. You, as consultants, are business people, not consumers. You have to think of what's going on from the Cincy home office as your support organization for your business, not your store for you as a customer. If you think of it as yourself as a customer, you're going to get different advice than as if you think of yourself as a salesperson. You may hate
Walmart.
pet products, right? You may hate pets, but if you have a bunch of customers that have pets, you should be championing pet products, whether you have a pet or not. Yes, you may not do your dishes. You may not want dishes, but
Yes,
okay.
bring back the
You know what? Let's go to one more here, and I think we might be. Oh, we're done. Oh, we got 10 minutes. Okay, we'll go here, and we'll make this a 10-minute question.
Okay, and then
A lot of what?
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. I don't think we're not collaborating with Marvel anymore.
we have the agreement, we can do Marvel.
Did we-
We just must not.
Has it been announced we're not doing Marvel anymore?
Oh.
Okay. Hey, we were in a different continent at the time. It might have been, if so, there was a reason. You know, it's not because we said, yeah, we don't really want to do Marvel anymore. It could have been a good reason.
Okay, right here.
we're not big, like the fan system, the pods are fabulous, they're growing, we have lots of, every catalog something new is coming out with it. Are we going to be able to get pods for like bars and please?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The question was, always get my pod, because we're doing
That's come up too since we've been.
So when we left to England, I said, okay, here's something that you need to focus on.
Yes, yes.
Like I do a lot of events and they come and I literally write it down every time they're a pod.
Every time. Pod, I get wiped out.
From you,
But
yes.
then they come back to my event a year later like, oh, I need to stock up and you're only getting 6. If we could put it in.
Sign them up, yeah.
And bring back my pod or the for life pod.
Okay.
And like they would be able to, I mean, it's the only market, like they can't get that in the big box.
Yep. So the idea of more products on Club, making Club more beneficial so that you can get more of your customers on Club. The whole point of Club is this. If you have enough customers that are enjoying Scentsy products enough to have a Club purchase where your 200 is locked in every month, you'll never go inactive. If you never go inactive, then you're kind of locked in, right? So helping new consultants get enough club customers to get their 200 PRV every month is the best way of retaining the people that you find. So as you onboard them, teach them quickly about Club and help them get their Club customers.
But we need to provide a product.
Yes.
That they can do.
And I think one of the initiatives that I want to bring to Scentsy is to elevate the experience at Club so that it is more like a host experience where they feel special for being part of Club rather than the forgotten customers of Club. And always get my bar was important for Club. Always get my other things, I think, would be very important. Okay, so here's always the challenge. Here's always the challenge. There are manufacturing constraints to doing small batches. Some things can be done in small batches better than other things, right? Pods are very difficult to do in small batches, and so they become very expensive to do in small batches. When sales were crazy, we don't have time to do small batches. Now things are slowing down, we might be able to bring that in. Does that make sense? So there are always opportunities when there are challenges. Okay, I think that might be, okay. It's because Tony's not here, so there's a question for Tony.
Didn't we do giveaways for those that weren't able to attend but signed up for the broadcast? Yes.
So here's the challenge. So the question is about, when we're doing events and you have to be present to attend, or present to get the giveaways when we're there. Right.
Okay.
So corner cases we can deal with. Here's the challenge. At 10,000 people coming to reunion, I didn't really want to be there. I just was there in Disney World, and it was my only day to go to Disney World, so I didn't go to the meeting. Turns into, well, I was just down the hall and in the bathroom. How come I didn't get it? I'm like, oh no, everyone, you were posting on Facebook while you were there. At Disney World, right? People just don't tell the truth. And so, because people don't tell the truth, you get inundated with 350 people saying, well, I have a good reason, I have a good reason, I have a good reason, so we just say, no. If it's something legit, like somebody's health is in dire straits, usually the team is very good to say, okay, I can tell you're not lying to me. I can tell this is a real story. Usually it helps if you would talk to your superstar director, and your superstar director comes with a personal relationship with the person that they're talking to, because they've seen them at Summit and all those kinds of things, and said, hey, I've got a team member, it's a legit story, is there any way they can get it? That's very rarely turned down, right? So use those leaders of yours who have built a relationship over 15 years with all of them. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna end there.
Everything in our power to always have your back. And it is not the easiest time right now. We understand that, but there are so many opportunities. You just turn your arrows out and pay attention to them. And if you make yourself 1% better every day, those are going to accumulate, and you'll look back with stunning awe of how much you've improved in a very short period of time.
You're amazing, you're amazing. And thank you for all the cool giveaways. It's been fun today for us to watch the giveaways, and that we know that you all donate and help with all of those. So thank you for your big heart. We love you.
I love you.